Alright guys, before I start off giving my thoughts on Panama City, I want to kind of like look at this beautiful church here. I would drop the name of it below. But I saw it and I said, man, it's a beautiful church. It's old, but it has like real nice clean lines, and I mean it's like it's an old church that's been restored, you know what I mean? Just so very clean looking. Actually, let's get into my thoughts on this beautiful city, Panama City. I mean, I have quite a few random thoughts, and I'm just, again, decided to just take you on a walk and talk type event, you know what I mean? So, let's talk about the weather. I wasn't sure what to expect. I knew it was hot. But you know, it's kind of hard, you know, it depends on what you're used to. It's kind of hard to kind of know what to expect weather-wise. You know, hot means different things to different places, you know. I mean, I'm from down south, so hot, I know what hot is, and I lived in Washington, D.C. many years, and during the summer, it is hot. You know, it's hot, but all that concrete is super hot. So, I know what hot is. But I wasn't sure what hot meant in Panama City. So, as you know, if you watched my first video, you know, like the first day I got here, it rained a lot. I mean, for like a couple hours for the first day. Well, the first full day I was here. And I just assumed, because April, according to what I've signed online, is kind of the start of raining season. Again, raining season means different things to different city, you know what I mean? So raining season. So I wasn't really sure what raining season meant here. I just thought that first day that I experienced, you know, rain that happened for over a couple hours, I figured it was going to kind of be like that, you know, pretty much every day or every other day. So that's kind of what I was expecting, you know, long rain for a period of time. But out of the 28 days I've been here, it only rained twice like that, and then only maybe 3 or 4 other times where it rained maybe just for a few minutes. So I'm not sure how often does it really rain here, you know what I mean? I don't know if that, keep in mind this is April. So I don't know, June, July, May, it's different, you know, during the, I guess the deeper portion of the rainy season, I'm not sure. So, but at least in April, it doesn't rain as much, well, at least this year anyway, so. And as far as the heat, it's hot on days, on sunny days. Today is pretty cloudy. It's pretty much overcast. It's about 80, I don't know, 83, 84 degrees. It's kind of humid, but one thing I've learned since I've been here, it's humid, but it's not humid as such that it's, you know, where you're sweating like crazy. You know, I don't sweat easily, but if it's hot and humid, and if I walk, you know, 10 or 5 minutes or so, then usually I sweat. But I have never walked from one location to another, even if 15, 20 minutes, and sweated because it was so hot. It's been really, it's been surprisingly, and that other thing, you can probably look at the tree right here, it's always like a breeze, you know, it's always like a slight wind just to cool it down just a little, you know, so you won't be so hot. I have never, I don't think I've only experienced maybe one day where it seemed like there was hardly no air, you know what I mean? So I was surprised by that. So weather-wise, this is really great. I mean, if you're gonna have hot weather like this is the way to have it. You know what I mean? Again, I don't know if that's just an April thing or not. While we're talking on the weather, let's talk about one thing I noticed, and I experienced at least twice the first few days I was here. First few days I've been here, is that it can get very slippery, especially not necessarily on sidewalks like this, but like sidewalks like that. You know what I mean? You know, some of these places have like non-slip type tiles, but a lot of places, especially some of the businesses on the side street, do not. And when it rains, you can easily slip. I fell twice. Thank God that one day I actually had bought some groceries and I had eggs, and the eggs kind of helped break my fall. I mean, it didn't break the fall, but it helped cushion the fall. I never thought a dozen eggs would do that, but it did help cushion my fall. Wow. Of course, all my eggs were destroyed, but I didn't really feel it because I fell on the bag on the side where the egg was at. Again, on a slippery surface like that. So I thought that was just kind of strange that first they will be allowed to put towels like that right next to your business, you know, knowing that they could be really slippery during hot weather. I mean, during the rainy weather. So I like right here, this is not a problem because this is kind of like non-slip surface. But on other days, yeah, look at that long line. They all going to the bank. That's, you know, that's definitely a Central South America, Mexico thing where you find long lines at the bank. This is a Saturday, by the way. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. So these long lines, I'm not sure. Maybe direct deposit is not a thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to just speculate too much because I never really figured out what was going on in other cities either. So this is not necessarily unique to Panama City. It's just, I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it in Colombia, in Mexico, in Ecuador, and the DR. Not so bad in the DR, I don't. You know what? I saw it bad enough in the DR. I just thought about that. So I don't know why that happens a lot. So I thought it was just strange or different. So anyway. So yeah, another thing, let's talk about the money. They use the dollar here. And one thing, you know, for someone like me, you know, and go from city to city or country to country where you have to kind of adjust to the currency and try to figure out what's the value of your money, to come to a place where you go back to what you used to. You know what's the value of a dollar, a real dollar. You know whether it's too expensive, you know, not expensive, even for an area like this, and what you will and would not pay for. So I really appreciate that the having used, I mean, being able to use dollar. Now keep in mind, I went to Quito, Ecuador, and you can use dollars there too, but it was just not the same. It's just not the same using the dollar somewhere else. Here it seemed more natural because, you know, the thing I've noticed from being in this area, things are probably about the same as what you expect in the U.S. So it's not that big of a difference, you know what I mean, for what a dollar will buy you in the States, especially if you go to a convenience store, than what it will buy here. Some things are cheaper, some things are not, but it's just like in this, you know, in the States, in the city, depends on what city you're at. Some things are cheaper and some things are not. So, but again, being able to connect it to the money and understanding when you buy something is definitely a huge advantage, you know, if you're coming from the U.S., you know, especially if you use the dollar. I think it's in one other country that use the dollar. I think Salvador, I think it's the other country that use the U.S. dollar. So Ecuador and Ecuador, Panama, and El Salvador is the only other countries that use the dollar as the official currency, I think. Drop a comment below if there are others. It brings me up, since we are talking about money, let's talk about another thing, the American Express card. You might well leave it at home. A lot of places, now here's the deal, some places take them, but believe it or not, a lot of places don't take them. I mean, it's funny, when I was in Colombia, I used an American Express card everywhere. I don't think I ever pulled out my other card for any reason. I've always used American Express. But here, you would be surprised at a lot of places that don't take American Express. I'm talking about even international fast food companies, you know what I mean? Wendy's, KFC, I don't know, a couple other places. Do not, now McDonald's takes it, Burger King, all the places do not take American Express, which I really find strange. And in fact, when I bought something at a store at the mall, at Albrook Mall, one of the vendors who spoke really good English shared with me that I think because American Express deal with a certain bank, one bank I guess, and a lot of businesses don't want to deal with that bank. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's one of the things that I heard them say. So I thought that was interesting, that if it's true, that a lot of them would not take it because of dealing with a certain bank. Here's another thought, I guess, about in the morning. Listen, whenever I go to the country, I always try to, I know the basics, and since I've only been to Spanish speaking country, everything is basically about the hello, getting, buenos dias or whatever. But, and sometimes you can, now every country I've been to, people always speak. They never speak first, and this location is no different. But when you speak, they do speak back for the most part. But sometimes you can tell the enthusiasm about when you say good morning. You can tell they're only doing it because you said it, but it's never, I don't think I've ever been anywhere where I felt like it was kind of genuine until I came here. Anytime I say, salutation, whether good morning or even good afternoon, it's always genuine. It always feel like they excited to say, good morning and good evening. I mean, I'm from down south, and that's kind of what you do, when you're down south. I'm from down south, so it almost felt like I was down south, even though this is, done when it's in Spanish. It felt really like people pretty genuine about saying good morning. So I really kind of enjoyed that. All right, so anyway, next thing is food. Let's see here. After being in Colombia for so many months, and even other areas, to get here and find food, no matter where you go, to have a lot of flavor. It may be because I'm in Colombia, because Colombia is really nice people, food is decent, but Colombia is not known for having food with a lot of flavors to it. You know what I mean? At least in my opinion. So to go somewhere where, man, I didn't know this was over here. I haven't even been over here yet. That's a nice little steakhouse. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't want to walk too far. Hey guys, let me pause for a second to make sure I know exactly where I'm at. All right guys, let me go. All right, that brings up to my next thought. Street signs. I'm telling you, I don't see street signs hardly anywhere. I'm not sure why. It's funny, in Colombia, everywhere I've been, I've seen street signs. They may not be in a place I expect them to be, but here, I just don't see them. I mean, you look for them. I mean, at least even in Colombia, you know, you see street signs, but they're usually on side of the building for the most part. But here, you don't see street signs at all. It's like, oh my God, where are the street signs? You just don't see them. And it's funny, a subscriber pointed it out to me also. So it's not just me. Now maybe they're here. Okay, oh, there's one. Surprisingly, I see a street sign. Actually, to be honest, that's the first street sign I've seen. You know what I mean? Because over where I'm at, I didn't really see many street signs. So at least I got somewhat of a bearing on where I'm at. You know, prior to that, I didn't see street sign definitely where I'm at. So they do have them some places, but you know, it's not all places they have them. So just know that street signs are not everywhere. Another thought is the pedestrian. You know, I've been to a lot of cities and a lot of places. All right, let me just kind of pause for this as I'm back. You also got to watch traffic. Pedestrians. I don't know if I mentioned that, but anyway, pedestrians. This is all the cities I've been in. This seemed to be more friendly to pedestrians. You know, kind of like in some parts in the States. You know, some parts of the state will run you over, but there are a lot of places, because it's the law, and a lot of people understand, you know, if you're walking and you have kids, then they're going to slow down and stop for you. Look at this. They blow the horn pretty quick around here. That's the other thing. I just thought I didn't have it written down, but come to think about it. They're pretty nice pedestrians. I mean, just there have been many times where you know, surprisingly, they would just stop to let me, well, maybe not here, but there's no need to do it here, because a lot of times you see sidewalk and they would stop and let you cross the street, and sometimes they don't, so that's a good thing. You know, speaking of pedestrians, you know, one thing I've noticed of all the cities I've been in, this is probably the first time I've run into the city where there are not a lot of motorcycles or mopeds or any type of two-wheel vehicle or even bicycle. You know, this is different, not the city, you know, where people ride bikes a lot. I mean, the only time you really see bikes are pretty much delivery drivers, and there's not a lot of them. I mean, they're location, but they're not like everywhere, like in Mexico or the DR or Ecuador, and definitely Colombia, because, you know, we know Colombia, you know, motorcycles, mopeds rule that country. So you don't see a lot of that here. Another thought, I think understanding the tax rate, I think this just is a matter of living here, because it's kind of strange that they don't really have taxes on food, like especially, you know, if you go into a fast food or whatever, the amount you see on the board is the amount you pay. But when you go into a grocery store, there is a tax on, there's a tax on, you know, food by 7%, you know, just like a lot of places in the state, 7, you know, 5%, whatever, depends on the state and the city, whatever. But it's definitely taxed. But here, there's no, that's no real. It's just weird that they chose fast food to kind of. I mean, you would think there'd be less taxes on groceries, but not here. For some reason, they decide to just tax groceries and everything else. But if you go to fast food, I mean, if you buy fast food or whatever, or even restaurant along that line, then there are no taxes. You know. So I don't get that logic, especially with fast food. But I guess, I don't know, I don't get that logic. So I guess maybe if they don't charge it on the street, maybe they figure, well, why, if we can't charge it for the little vendors, you know, selling dollar empanadas, why, you know, make anyone else pay? I don't think I agree with that. that mindset. I mean, that analogy. I mean, if that's the case, I'm not even sure. I just find that to be really, really strange there. So, and lastly, here's my last thought. Why do people move to this area? Yeah, man, this breeze is perfect. This breeze is perfect. I mean, why do people move here? I can kind of see why, even though a lot of Americans move to like areas south of Panama City, the Big and Phuket, places like that. But I can kind of see why people move here, because to be honest with you, I never understood. I mean, other than some of the financial benefits of moving to the city, I can see why people move here. You know, I think I want to get on the sidewalk because I'm actually close to the road and I affect it. Let me get back on the sidewalk, and I'm not trying to get hit. I'm trying to talk on the camera here. Man, look at it. It's working everywhere. I should have been on that side of the road, which is where I'm making. You know what? That's what I'm doing. Because I got to make a right anyway, so let me go on this side of the road. Yeah. I actually like it here. I can see myself moving here. You know, some places I've been, not necessarily country, but sometimes locations, maybe not. You know what I mean? Not that I wouldn't live to some of these places. Just some I can just rule them out as soon as after I leave. Like, okay, I can come back to visit, but I don't know if I can live. But I can, like I said, I can see myself living here. Yeah, I can kind of see myself living here. So anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right now and really focus on where I need to go. Again, thank you for watching. Again, these are just my thoughts. Drop a comment below. Say hi. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Click that notification bell for the next video. And I will definitely see you in the next one. And the probably next video you will get from me, I will be in another country. So, thank you for watching. Let me turn around and see what we got here. And I will see you in the next video.